Alrighty, let's get this bad boy open. So, you probably should use something sharp, don't cut yourself. That's what we definitely don't want to do. So, let's cut along here. There's also a little security thing. We're going to cut through that, and I think, let's see if that's hard. Not sure. Yeah, that's quite hard. So let's cut through that. And let's see if that comes apart now. Okay, ooh, looking good. Okay, so that's probably, which is the best way to open this. Now, if you ever receive one of these and the seal looks broken or something like that, then you definitely try and get your money back. That's really tight. I wonder if that is meant to come through there. Who knows? Might do the bottom as well, just for the fun of it. Wow, it must be glued. Right. Yep. That is really tough to get into. Look at that glue in there. Should be careful. Wow, this is really hard to get open. Who knows if there's a better way, but let's we can get that open a bit right. Okay, well, what have we got in here? So it's all, foam. Woohoo! Alright, so that's it there, nothing else. Got some cool Trezor stickers. That's pretty good. Awesome, thanks Trezor. Some more. Okay, so this is where you put your recovery seed, okay, and that's where you write it down, so it comes empty, there's nothing in it. They've also got a secondary one, okay, so when you go through setting up the device, that's what you'll need to write down, looks like 24 for that. Put that aside for a moment. It tells you about the recovery seed is a backup of the entire contents of the Trezor, in simple English words. So you need to go through that, user manual, basically connect it to your PC or mobile phone, and then go to the browser and go through the things which we'll do in a minute. Ooh, check this out. Alright, so we see that there. We've got our little cable, little USB cable, and then we've got our lanyard. That's pretty cool. Little Trezor lanyard for that one. Look how slimline that is. Wow, how cool is that? It's actually smaller than I imagined. I actually imagined it was a bit bigger, but look how thin that is. It's got a little protective seal over the top. Cool, I think that's good. Alright, so I think we've got everything. Let's move all that out of the way. Let's take that cover off. And just so we can see better, it there. Pretty cool. Very flat, very light. It's excellent. Okay, so let's go through the instructions. So this is what we're going to go through first. So basically we got to connect it via the USB to PC or mobile. So we're going to connect it to the Mac, and then we'll go through and I'll record the on screen for that. Okay. So when you connect it up, the first thing it says, lights up, it says, welcome, please visit trezor.io/start. So let's do that now and go from there. Okay, so we've got the Trezor hooked up to the Mac, and now we're just going to go to the start page. I'll have a quick look. So we need to go to trezor.io start. So I'll open up a browser. So trezor.io/start, and it has that in the instructions. Okay, so there's 3 steps that needs to be done. So learn how the PIN works. So PIN protects the Trezor from unauthorized access. Use at least 4 different numbers. Try to avoid 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and during the Trezor setup, you will enter a new PIN twice. Notice that the numbers shown on the Trezor change between the entries. Okay, so that's the first thing you're going to have is a PIN, and make sure it's something that you don't forget. Okay, the second thing is a recovery seed. Now we've seen this before, that we got the little tiny what are they called? We can write down the recovery seed because Trezor gave us a little piece of paper, a little cardboard with the 24 on it. So we're going to use that, and then of course you can subscribe with email and get updates, which is good, with security and stuff like that. So we're going to go through this. So let's do the PIN first. So you can actually watch the little video to see how that works, and we might actually just have a quick look at that and then go to the next step. Okay, so after you put your email in and continue, it then goes to Trezor, and you've got it says private bank in your hands. Okay, so Trezor wallet is an easy to use interface. From this wallet you control your coins, install the Chrome extension to talk to your device. Okay, so that's fine. Let's click on the install extension because I'm running Chrome. Takes us to the store. Then we click on add to Chrome, add app. And this is how it will interact with the device. So now that's added, let's just go back to the wallet. Always allow pop-ups. Let's have a look if it's... We'll try that again. We'll close that one down, close that one down. Install extension, which we've already done, we won't reinstall it. So we'll try launch app. Okay, so it says you have plugged your device in a bootloader mode, special mode intended for updating the firmware. If you don't want to change the firmware, just unplug the device and plug it in again. It says firmware info, can't beat it to firm 1.6. Yes, update. So I'm going to assume that we need to update the firmware from that. So and we haven't put any keys on it or anything like that, so I think that's safe to do. So let's go yes, update. And as you can see, it's actually initializing please wait. So I would say this is updating the firmware to make sure it has the latest. Hopefully you can see that there. So it says new firmware successfully stored, you may now unplug your Trezor. Okay, so let's do that. And we plug it back in. Okay, So now on the screen, we've got something new. So I'll just leave that there for a second. It currently says go to Trezor start. So we've updated the firmware. Now the first thing it says is welcome to Trezor setup. Please take your time and read all of the instructions. Setting up a Trezor may only take a few minutes. When you're done, you can start using it. So label your Trezor. So we're going to put in this label was shown when you display when you plug it in. So we might change this later, but let's put it as my Trezor. Okay, and then we're going to click continue. Now this is where it's asking for a pin. Okay, so the pin's on the screen. So then you look at the pin and you look at the screen, and we got to choose a new pin. Okay, so we're going to type in the pin now. And on the screen, you've got the corresponding tiles, and you've got to match it up with what's on the tiles on here. Okay, so we're going to put in a pin. Okay, now I've realized I can't see any zeros on this keypad, so I'm going to rub that out again. We're going to try another one, which is interesting. So I might actually have a think about this, what pin I'm going to use. Then I'm going to choose a pin. I've worked out what I'm going to do. Okay, then we click enter on the screen. Then it changes the tiles, so you have to choose different tiles to get the same number. And you can see it's telling my password's weak, so I will update that. I'm just going to do it for this video, and then I'll change it afterwards. So then the next thing it says is it's going to give us the 24 recovery seeds. So I'm not going to show that on camera at the moment, but I will. Basically what it does is it displays on the screen, it says write down the seed and the first word is, and then you need to write that down in the little book. So I'm going to find a pen. Find a pen and write down that now. I'll be back in a second. I found a pen. So the first thing I'm going to do, here's my Trezor. Here's where I'm going to write down the keywords. So it's on the screen, write down your first one, and you look at your device, and we look at that and it gives our first word. So we're going to write that down now. Okay, so 24 now. Then we, so we've done that one. Then we click again. Now it says please check. So this time it says please check the word. So I'm going to check the words to make sure I've got the right words. Very important to do. Double check the spelling and the order. Okay, so then it says finish on the device. So you click finish, and let's see what we're up to at the moment. So at the moment you'll come with this little screen that says my Trezor, and then on the screen we'll have a quick look. So now it's got basics. So it says your device is ready to use. So you've got the label, you can change that. It can also change the pin. Let's click on advanced. It tells you that it has the latest firmware update, which we did initially when we plugged it in. Now it also says if you hold both device buttons pressed when you plug it in, I believe that brings up to do the firmware. I haven't, so we might want to go through that again in a future video, but just for the time being it tells instructions there. Then there's a passphrase as well, which I'm not going to put anything on that. Also disable pin, and also you can wipe everything off the device as well. So let's just leave it at basic, and let's click on go to Trezor wallet and see what that does. So then it opens up the wallet, and we'll just wait for this to load. Now it will connect. So we'll just close down these windows in the background, and we'll just close down that one as well, and we'll just refresh it. So now what it's doing is it's asking for the pin that we set up. So I'm going to click on the screen and put the pin in. And then press enter. Okay, so then it comes back to saying my Trezor. Imagine you can put any name that's your label. So then it loads the account, okay? And you'll see here BTC and then the USD value, and you can add account and a legacy account. So I'm not sure about legacy account, but we'll check that out later. And then it's suggesting, a better pin, and then it has all your different things for transactions. So this is probably just like any other wallet. You can change it to Bitcoin, and then you change it to Bitcoin Cash. So please be advised that this is not your Bitcoin wallet. BTC and BCH are the same address, but can be mixed up. If you do not receive Bitcoins to the address in this, do not send. Okay, so that's fine. You'll lose it otherwise. So now I've switched it to Bitcoin Cash. So it says BCH. Alright, it just wants to make sure that you understand the difference. Let's see what else they got. Bitcoin Gold, Dash, Litecoin, Zcash, Ethereum, and Ethereum Classic. So this is great. So basically, each time you click on one of these coins, it will then create new addresses for you and attach it to this Trezor. So at the moment, nothing for Bitcoin Gold. We do Dash, and I'm just going to go through and do these, just make sure they're all loaded in correctly. Because when you do it, it obviously initializes the very first thing. So Dash, Litecoin, Zcash. Wouldn't mind getting some Zcash. I want to get into these privacy coins. Ethereum. So they've partnered with my Ether wallet to provide that. So what you would do is you would go to my Ether wallet. Now, normally I use like MetaMask to connect, and now let's try connecting with the Trezor. So let's click Trezor and connect to Trezor. So export public key for account. Yep. So this is the account which has got nothing in it. So we're going to export that. Go with whatever is selected. So the first one is selected, which is Trezor ETH. That's the one I'm going to use. And then you select one of your addresses. Now I've got all mine blocked out, but basically these are the addresses that you're going to use to interact with. You can check the balances over here or how much balance is in those. So we're going to select the very first one, and then we're going to click on unlock your wallet. So now it'll display your account address over here, and the display address is on the Trezor, so you can actually display the address on the Trezor. Now if we click that, we'll just see what it does on the Trezor. Has a little pop-up. Follow instructions on your device. The address is actually shown on the device. Yep, and continue, and I'll close down. Alright, so then you've got access to this, and then you can do your normal transactions, send or receive tokens with that. And of course, you're going to set your GUI up here. Alright, so I think that's basically how you connect, and so that's all good. So that's how you set up your accounts, and then obviously you've got your addresses here where it says account address. That is your public email.
sorry, public, not email. That is your public address, your Ether address public, okay? And I believe each time you can select which address, and it also tells you the balance each time you select it. Okay, so that, I think that covers it for the moment. We'll do some transactions in a minute and we'll send those through. Back again. And what we're going to do is we've got the Bitcoin Cash wallet open, and I'm going to send some Bitcoin to it. So we click on Receive, okay, and then I'm going to click on Show Address because I'm going to copy this and use it. So it's going to come here now. You can also check it on the Trezor. It comes up on the Trezor, and then you look at it on the Trezor, and it basically says the address and it tells you what the account name is. And that looks correct. I'll just see if I can highlight it. Yes, I can. And I can copy that, press continue, and it will display the actual address there as well. So now I'm going to send that using Exodus. I'm just going to use my Exodus, make sure it's Bitcoin Cash, and I think we'll just put maybe $10 US in there, and we'll click send. Check that address is correct. Send. Okay, so that's been successfully sent. Be interesting to see what happens and if it comes through the transactions and how quickly it does. Wow, that's pretty quick. So, so we now have in this account, we have the balance coming through. This tells us the rate, so the actual how much Bitcoin Cash is. Then also it tells you how much went in and out and has a little chart. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Then it has your details of your transaction and how much value in that, and then the US dollars. So that's the first transaction, and then we'll do a transaction back out. Now we're going to send a transaction back the other way. So I'm going to receive funds. So I'm going to copy my address from Exodus, and I'm going to click on send, and then I'm going to paste in the address like so. It tells me that it's good. I'm going to send back $5 USD this time. Okay, and we've got the fee normal. Confirmation times 20 minutes, 0.01, send the $5. So we're going to click on that. We'll just double check the address. Yep, so that's done. Click on send. Now what it does now is it will display on your Trezor. It'll say confirm sending the exact amount, and that will have the address. And then once I know that address is correct, I press confirm. Really send to the wallet including that fee. Yes. Click again, continue. So now we have that it's sent transaction. So we've had $10 in, $5 out. As you can see, here's our little thing. It tells us we've sent the transaction. We can check this transaction by clicking on it, and you can check it out on the Explorer. And that's basically how those transactions are done, both for send and receive. And of course, when you send, you will need to confirm twice the amount you're sending to and the address. It'll come up on the Trezor. So yeah, I think I've shown you most things on this one, and I'll start using it, putting more in, and do some more videos for you. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you've got any questions, make sure you put them in the comments, and I'll see if I can help you out. Thanks.